I think the first message I ever sent in Discord apparently was me saying that I would fap to Dusk in a G-string.
Well done.
Oh, that's one.
What is it? Twitch.tv.
I went all the way back in time to work out that I said that I would fap to Dusk wearing a G-string.
Congratulations. Yes,
that was definitely not worth it.
Oh, I can see you. I can see everything, basically. Yeah, you're playing around with... Yeah, like when you alt-tab, I can see it.
Oh.
It seems fairly good quality.
It says he said I'm on your thing. There's no stream. There is.
What you want to do is, in setting, yeah, you can change it so it doesn't display your desktop. But I think you have to stop streaming to be able to do it.
How many followers, by the way? None.
Hold on. Total views watching now. Followers. You got 2 followers. You got just me watching it though.
I can't even.
Which is less than me. Way less than me.
What is it?
Twitch.tv/TechbookT. I don't stream very much of that.
No, I don't tend to watch Twitch that often.
There's no stream right now.
The funniest thing is that I put this.
Yeah, it says offline for me.
I took the piss out of
Spoon, you said you're seeing it? Where I'm playing around in the menu, just up and down.
Yeah.
It says offline for me.
Yeah, you're moving your mouse up and down between Universe, Star Marine, and Arena Commander.
Wait, you can see my desktop on the right?
No, I could. I can see that you clicked on something there.
Back in a sec. Oh.
But when you alt-tabbed, I could see whatever, like the box of what you had come up.
Oh, this. Yeah.
I don't know if obviously you've got anything over or whether you've got everything else second screen. Like I can see that, and you got like Pighead or something. Yeah, I can now see your browser.
Alright, so he's seeing my stream now. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about it. So Star Citizen it's a space sim first and foremost. Oh wait, no, it's ad. Okay. 30-second ad. I don't see any of the money. You can chime in, Spoon, if you want.
Sorry, mate, I didn't realize that's what we were doing.
I was just explaining to him. I think it'd be faster than typing it all out. Okay, so Star Citizen is kind of like first and foremost, it's a space sim. It started out as a space sim.
It's a Kickstarter.
Yep, a Kickstarter.
Basically, originally it was a Kickstarter. They advertised it as there was a Squadron 42, which was a single player, and Star Citizen is the actual what they call the System Universe.
Yeah, MMO giant universe thing, and there's lots of things planned. And what we have right now is a small sandbox, which is looking to expand pretty soon, relatively soon, in about like half a year. And you're just gonna see me playing a little
multiple hostiles inbound.
Vandal Swarm.
Alright, I'm back.
Wow.
Who's playing Vandal Swarm? Can I play Vandal Swarm?
I'm doing it single player just to show what
We're just showing some guy.
gameplay.
What's his name? Sorry.
Pinhead Larry.
Right.
I've got one gun on this. One badger, I think. It's a bigger badger. So, yeah, this is what the game kind of looks like right now. There's cockpit and stuff.
Fry bread.
There is first-person shooter module. And you can just ask me some questions.
Zero hostile
Well,
contact.
basically, what he's done now is fighting against Vandal. Vandal
Warning. There
are
are
meant to be
multiple hostiles
the
inbound.
sort of aliens that the humans are fighting against. Anyway, so it's done by Chris Roberts, who done the Wing Commander series. And he likes putting in a decent story. So he's a perfectionist, basically. So it was meant to come out in 2014. But he,
Here we are.
2014. Here we are.
2014.
3 years later.
And that's because the guy wants to bring out the best game that he can, and a lot of people don't like that. But personally, I'm happy. I'd rather have a game that's well made than something that's just trying to hit a
So it's
a date as such.
the feature set kept expanding to the point where we're now going to have procedural planets that are fully explorable with dynamic weather and clouds and ridiculous stuff like that. And it all started from this kind of vision of a space sim and a living universe. And it's really the reason why we play, because we really like this idea of basically real life in space. And it's as much as there are lots of salty people about the game right now, it's moving along relatively well. Go ahead and just ask me any questions that you have, because I don't know what else to talk about.
How this is
game's
not
super
for
hard to run. Yes, it is relatively hard to run. I have a 1070 right now, 4690K, and I can run it pretty decently. And the thing is that they're looking to continue optimizing, and while also pushing fidelity, because they're always trying to make sure things aren't costly to run on your GPU and stuff. They're always looking to optimize. So I would say that if you want a smooth gameplay experience, you would need a mid-range to high-spec PC in order to get competent frame rates, especially at higher reses. You have a 470 of an FX 8350, so the CPU might be fine, but I would say that the 470, what is that equivalent to?
RX 470 is this.
1050, right? That's what it's equivalent to.
RX 470, 480 is about a 980 to 970, so yeah, probably like a
1060.
1050.
Yeah,
I would say 1050
TI or
approx.
something.
Or, yeah, probably the TI.
Yeah, so I would say you could probably run with everything on low, and you could probably get around 45 frames.
You say low, but does that actually make a difference at the
It
minute?
does a bit. There was a bug.
But
where
you can drop the resolution if you're happy dropping a certain resolution.
yeah.
Then the game does. It's the same thing. I mean, I've got a 970 which should be able to run it fine.
Yeah.
Because it's not optimized. When I'm playing alone, I drop the resolution so I get better frame rates. But there's certain same things like the VSync is enabled on at the start, and you can turn that off.
Yeah,
And
with
that
some
makes a big
1080p,
difference and
I
things like
would
that.
say you could probably run it relatively well. It's just there's a lot of factors that we don't really know about yet, because we don't know if they're going to have what kind of optimization we're looking at. We only know that it's probably going to be pretty intensive to run. It's got a lot of things. It's gonna have a lot of things to load on the screen, and so it's really difficult to tell. But right now, if you want this experience, you need a pretty beefy computer. But I think in the future it won't be that much the case.
I mean, just to put it in perspective, when it first came out, I was running, I think, an AMD 3-core, and then I moved up to an FX 8350 and an R9 270, which was enough and I'm now on a i5 4690K and a 970, but I decided to go a bit overkill, and that was fine for a little while. But it's then got sort of less optimizers. They've added more things in, but they at the current moment they seem to be trying to optimize for the gameplay now. They're trying to get the network sorted and smooth that out.
See, the thing
I
is
think-
that if you're trying to go cheap with Star Citizen, it's kind of not. I don't know. Everything is about fidelity and all things. Kind of.
Yeah.
So, like, don't go into this thinking that it's gonna be. It's an investment. And I think if you're not willing to invest the time or the art or the money, it's not gonna be a fundamental experience because like, a lot of people have like sticks, they have custom setups. So the game is not free, so you will not be able to download the game without a package because that's what you need to play the game. The package comes with a ship and some goodies, a hangar, and the game.
It's worth pointing out that they've now separated as well. So Star Citizen, the MMO, is now separate from Squadron 42. It used to be part of like one whole thing, but they decided to separate it when they were getting close to
Yeah, so
their
it's-
second release date.
yeah, you can't play the game without. I have a guide.
You can play Arena Commander no matter what,
Yeah,
but if you want to play the single player,
yeah.
it's you have to buy one package. If you want to play the multiplayer, you have to buy the two packages. I think works out at about $80. I think is what they're planning for.
Well, currently it's 60 for
Both.
Star Citizen and Squadron 42,
But there you
No
go. So it's
additional
gonna,
ship.
yeah.
or 45 for just Star Citizen and a starter ship. But it goes on sale for 35 right now, though.
Yeah,
It was for Valorant.
And it was for Christmas through New Year's as well.
Yeah.
and there's also, I mean, if you really want to hang out, if they have another one, is the anniversary sale they have in November. They release some of the packages for £20,
Warning. There are
and
multiple
they're like
hostiles
limit.
inbound.
They'll do like 200 at £20 if you can
Yeah,
wait that
okay,
long.
so you're seeing a lot of packages that are expensive. You only really need the cheapest one. That's the absolute minimum. The cheapest one will get you the game, but you gotta be really careful you're not buying just the ship. Because you have to make sure it says game package. And not only that it says game package, but that it has the right game in it. Because if you wanted to play Star Citizen, the MMO, and not necessarily the single
You
player,
have achieved ace status.
Target destroyed. Overhead.
Yeah, game
Proximity
package.
alert. Aft. Proximity alert.
and it should
Shields
say
full.
Star Citizen download instead of Squadron 42 download. So that would let you play the game. Right now, everything that it has, you can get it with that
Target
package.
hit. Target destroyed. Shields charging. Shields full. Target destroyed.
I have a buyer's guide
0 hostile contacts remaining.
that I can send to you. So what's this? This
Contact.
right now that I'm
Elite
playing
units en
is
route.
part of just the dogfighting module that came out in the very beginning. This was
Bogey.
what started it all. This was
Bogey.
all the game that we had at the beginning. And slowly it's expanded. Oh, Squadron 42 standalone pledge. Okay, so that thing is, it lets you play the game single player. It's basically buying the
Target
campaign.
destroyed.
And I think if it's a standalone pledge, yeah, doesn't come with the starter ship. You can't play any games. I don't think so. Yeah, all it comes with is the single player campaign. You'll be able to download it once it comes out later this year.
It's a win. We don't know that.
Target destroyed.
But I think that I don't know whether you can play it now or not, but you should have access to Arena Commander.
Some people didn't
But
have.
I
No,
don't.
some people didn't have access to Arena Commander if they only had ships. But I'm not sure if you can get
Right.
access to S142.
I know when the game comes out that they're gonna allow it, but I don't know whether that's the case now.
Mustang
But-
Alpha SC starter package. Yeah. So I'm gonna just send this real quick to you. It's on the line of Tech2's forums. It's titled "What Game Package You Should Buy." It details a lot of this stuff, and it's a bit of a read because I tried to make it thorough, but there's the TLDR at the top that will basically get you exactly what you need in order to start playing the game.
Elite units
Some of
eliminated.
my recommendations, and then it goes over some of the more complex buying topics that surround
Warning.
it. Because
There are multiple hostiles
things-
inbound.
Bogey.
I wish
Bogey.
someone would let me pin that to the top of the.
Is it not in our contents?
It's not. So what else is there? The plan is not just dogfight. The plan, what we have now is just dogfight because there's still things.
Target destroyed.
Chris Roberts came from Wing Commander, which is all about dogfighting. That's the first thing they fleshed out, and that's all we have right now. So the player base isn't too active when it comes to wanting
Starboard.
to
Proximity alert.
explore
Proximity
or
alert.
trade and
Port.
stuff,
Proximity
but that
alert.
stuff is planned. And exploration,
there's-
trade, mercenary lifestyles, smuggling,
Salvage.
salvage, yeah, mining, pretty much all the main occupations you could think of will be in the
I mean, farming even.
yeah, farming in the Endeavor, which is absolutely, I thought that was like self-carrying,
Yeah.
right? Oh, we even got farming in the game.
Why not?
Then
What's
they're now
one more
even
thing
talking that.
Warning.
Yeah, well, they're now talking that you can have your own little farm on a planet in the middle of nowhere now as well. And you can settle down like and have essentially like a
Target
house.
destroyed.
We don't know much about that,
Zero
but that's what
hostile
they're
contacts
planning
remaining.
for.
So all that's not
And
out
I mean, when
Yep.
there's none of that's actually in game
Warning.
as of yet.
There
right
are
now, all
multiple
you can
hostiles
do is
inbound.
do some missions, do some dogfighting in the public sandbox.
Bogey.
So the recommendation right now, general recommendation, is to wait for 3.0. It's a major update. It brings a lot of careers like trading, and fleshes out the universe a lot more. You get a lot more diverse locations. You get planets. So what's the sandbox? The sandbox is, well, it's big, but there's not much to see in
Target
it.
destroyed.
The
Forward.
sandbox is
Proximity
like
alert.
a few million kilometers wide. You can actually fly end to end if you wanted to and wasted your life. But yeah, you warp around, there's a few missions to do,
Target
not
destroyed.
much. And that is the basis for what they're eventually going to turn into a persistent universe where everything matters, your choices matter, even you die it matters. And it's not like this
Target
arcadey
destroyed.
dogfighting module that you see me playing right now.
The thing is, even if this isn't what appeals to you, just keep it in the back of your head because it's guaranteed that when it does finally come out. I mean, that they're saying possibly 2018
Zero
for this to
hostile
come out
contacts
complete.
remaining.
That's when if you're not sure, that's when I'd be looking at it because I'm pretty sure there'll be something for everyone. I mean, me and Textbook have said we're just gonna quite literally, when 3.0 comes out,
stroll along the entire
The planet.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is anyone still in Star Citizen that I can quickly boot up a private match to show him the FPS module?
I can be, yeah.
I am not, but I can't open it.
Yeah, I
I'm just logging
need
in
one
now.
person. So
If I
this
enter
will
my
be, I'll
password,
show
what?
you the FPS module. This is not final. It's pretty arcadey right now. It's not the final vision. They want it to be much more slow and tactical, or so they say. And yeah, once we get a bit in here.
Bessie going in.
Yeah, it's just loading now.
And everything is supposed to be seamless, right? You won't have any loading screens. You can go straight from the cockpit to the out into space. You could skydive into the atmosphere when that comes around. It's gonna be pretty cool. And so you can have like squads or something like that. Okay, so everything will be pretty much so. Squadron 42 is a single player campaign where you act as part of the legendary Squadron 42 of the UEE Navy, and you battle the Vanduul, which are the main antagonists of the story. And they're kind of the driving force for the PU. The PU will have an ongoing story where major things will happen, like they plan the sacking of Terra and stuff like that. Things like that. And if you're talking about squads, like people together, we have an organization, and those are pretty much all player run. You can choose your own breakup of groups of people and stuff.
5,
So
4,
I'm not quite sure what your
3,
question is,
2,
but I hope I
1,
answered
begin.
both.
If you're talking about like having your own friends and
Yeah.
like a group, then you can have what they call as an organization, and you can run that org with just your friends if you want. You know, you don't have to be part of a big one. You can be a small one
You can make up
with
your
4
own.
people.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
And we're just a rather large org. And
But
Alright,
yeah,
Ted.
we're a large org. But I mean, we've had ranging from 4 people a week to 40 people a week turn up.
Alright, Textbook, I'm in if you want to
oh,
do that.
Then no.
let's back out of it. Wow. Same time.
Wow.
Alright, it's a menu and it should bump us back to the party. What's an
Yeah.
organization in this game like? Can you own land and stuff, or is that coming up? So right now there's no land to own. But eventually in the future they said that you might be able to own stuff. Oh, it bumped me out of the party.
Yeah, all organizations will be able to.
Yeah.
At the current moment, they'll be able to own space stations.
Yeah, space stations. They can
You-
claim.
People can own factories and things
And I'm
like that.
sure
but
that you would be able to practically just put an embargo on stuff and a blockade and just like stop people from getting into your space and just blowing up everyone who tried to get
Yeah.
in. That would be one way, but I'm not sure about.
Yeah, give me a sec. Game's just being.
Yeah, so that's the plan, is to allow orgs to own things, and there's been recent talk of being able to plop down prefabs on planets and owning that. So I imagine there you could make like mini cities for organizations. That'd be really cool. A lot of this, you'll note, is talk and a lot of design documents and stuff, but we've learned the art of patience, because eventually it's been paying off slowly, and we are pretty happy with what we've got so far, as much as we like to complain about ship balance and weapon balance and oh, this mechanic is no good, we gotta change it or whatever. It's shaping
But
up
that's-
slowly but surely.
That's one of the other good things that makes this game different to others is the fact that
Yeah, there's
there is a
communication.
forum. Yeah, and if we say, I mean, the easiest way to put it is that they haven't done anything to deal with what is it,
Studios.
field of view. Well, there's lots, but like field of view, and enough people said, you know, we want to be able to change the field of view, and they're now trying to put it into the next patch, and that was as simple as that. And it can be something like, you know, we think this gun is overpowered, and they're actually taking that feedback and listening to the community rather than releasing the game and then having to change things afterwards. So people like us who are playing it are actually giving feedback to them, so that people like, say, if you do buy it when it
First
gets
blood.
released, should in theory get a well-balanced game.
I don't have a radar, so I'm playing blind.
Yeah, I'm running out of VRAM again. For some reason, I ran out of VRAM in Star Marine.
What's your graphics settings at?
Probably max. Very high. I'm gonna whack them down
Just
to high.
switch it down to high, yeah.
Any other questions that I can answer?
That has taken me from 4.0 to 3.8.
You're maxing out your VRAM? Let me
Yeah.
see how much I'm using right now. I'm using.
I
I'm
did
using
plan on
3.7.
upgrading to a TI at some point,
I'm only
a
using
1080 Ti.
3.3. So it's an actual developer. Okay, so they basically absorbed all of CryEngine. All of their tech.
Right.
They have 400 something of employees, and many of them
Yeah.
are developers. It's a little
I
ridiculous.
mean,
they made
it
their
started
whole.
off.
Yeah, it's called Cloud Imperium Games now. It's not just a Kickstarter.
Yeah, it started off with 8 people
They've
in
got-
2012,
So
I
it's
think.
the opposite of Activision right now. Pretty
Yeah.
much. It's
Yeah, they
independent.
started off with 8, and they're now what, 350 strong now,
I think
and they have
passed
four
400.
different studios.
Yeah, 4 different studios in the world, so they're around the clock working.
Yeah. So like the people that are in the US will then hand off to the people in the UK in the morning, and then the UK then goes to Germany, and then to Germany another part of the US.
It's
I don't know.
LA and Texas.
I don't know the time zones for the US, to be honest. So
Los
I don't know
Angeles
how
is
that
in
works.
the west, and Texas is in the middle.
Yeah, they basically call it chasing the sun.
Texas is central time, so
Yeah, they basically call it chasing the sun. The whole point is that
They're constantly
someone's
work all
working
the
on the
way around
game.
the clock,
yeah,
yeah.
24 hours.
For some reason, I'm stuck to the ballistic gun, even though I selected my loadout to be laser.
same.
You might accidentally be in light, and it hasn't set it up as that.
Maybe.
You might just, if next time when you die, just hit L and change your loadout.
Oh, you can. I can't do that because
When
I'm
you
not.
die.
So what you saw was a tech demo from Gamescom. It's a tech demo of 3.0, which is an upcoming update. It's the next. Oh wait, no, 2.6.2 is coming out. Then it's a balance update, and then 3.0. So they're
Yeah, that's in a
anticipating
couple of weeks.
sometime mid this year. I think is the most reasonable estimate. Most reasonable optimistic estimate, and that will allow you to explore planets. You'll get those kind of procedural missions and things like that, just like you saw in that demo. But that demo, that's real. There's no cutscenes. There was some scripting, but it's basically how often do they update these games. Their
Yeah.
games. They only have one game. They're working on. I mean, the assets go to both single player and multiplayer, and they updated their games. They were trying to hit once per month last year, but they didn't get anywhere close to that.
Well, it wasn't that, but some of the patches just didn't actually prove anything. There was it was just an update that was
That had
unnecessary.
chips in or something. Yeah.
They wanted to do a patch each month and then realized that features weren't going to be ready within that month. So
Yeah. So I'd
Yeah.
say that we get
You get updates from I would say about once a month now, but it might be something as small as like what was February.
changing bug fixes and stuff.
Killing
Yeah.
spree.
But it might be an absolute game changer and might just be like a minor annoyance.
We should just do this. Just keep playing Star Marine games while we just talk about stuff. Like orbs.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Next meeting. Just do this.
oh great.
Escape and then try again. If you can't respawn.
What I can tell is, yeah, Abyss is. I mean, even Textbook's done it, but Abyss has got a bug now. Hopefully,
Yeah, I'm stuck.
that's the thing is the
Stuck with the
game's
shotgun
not.
now.
Yeah, the game's not perfect, but
Respawning.
I mean, it's an alpha, and people say that's not an excuse, but to me, it's every.
If
bit
it
of
was a
an
beta,
excuse.
then yeah, that's fine because beta is obviously your second stage.
Yeah,
But an alpha.
At that point, you're more about proving what you've already built everything. You're just
Yeah. But
Nice
I
try,
mean,
Destiny.
the thing is that
Tried.
How big do the updates come when they add something new? Well, they have to you have to re-download the entire game. It's 28 gigs. Is it like 10 gigs that they add everything in all at once, or random sizes and stuff? Well, they're planning on fixing that and making everything modules so you can download like 3 gig patches. And are people disappointed because they're hyped for new stuff? Well, definitely, you'll always get disappointed if you hype things up. I think that's a general rule. That's why I try to avoid getting hyped. You can get excited, but not hyped.
well, the Star Marine is new that came out in December.
Where they say something
And
to
people
come
were
one day
saying
and hold
it was-
it back. Okay, so that's one of the most controversial things.
Star Marine was supposed to release like a
Right.
year ago,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Star
originally?
Marine. That's the thing. They tried releasing things as they were. So they tried releasing them buggy and not well, like basically how they had it. And while some people were happy,
Some people
Others
are very unhappy with the
Spawning.
quality
Yeah.
structure of it.
so
So they've been keeping their mouths shut recently, and people have been really upset about that. But they really don't know what they want.
yeah, it's they can't please everyone. It's you have one lot of people that are basically ruining it for a lot of people. Like I myself, there's some ships that they haven't designed the textures for. Personally, I wouldn't mind if they were in the game now.
As long as the core bits are there for us
Yeah.
to test, because at the end of the day, as alpha players, we are there to test it as much as we are to.
So yeah, another thing to
Sort
keep
of
in
enjoy
mind is
it.
it's not a game. It's not really a game yet. You're
And so now they have alpha testers for the alpha game, which I find kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, that is a weird
Yeah.
thing because they have what they call the Avosai or whatever it is, or the
Avocados.
avocados.
Avocado.
The avocados.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me.
That was close.
Yeah, so
That's
people
very
have
low.
definitely been mad because they seem to not have come out with the right date.
Respawning.
I think some of that is kind of suspect, especially things like saying Squadron 42 and 3.0 were coming out last December. That obviously wasn't going to happen. So they try to make their games most likely have not a lot of bugs instead of releasing on time when it's the worst bugs. Yeah, exactly. So they're really focused on this whole concept of fidelity and all things. It's really their thing. The
I mean,
Electronic Arts fan- yeah.
for me, the thing that bothers me the most, that actually almost put me off games entirely, like I was going to quit, was things like Battlefield 4 coming out, and that came out
On the
30
And it-
seconds remaining.
Yeah, it came out in October, and I couldn't play it until February the next year. And it took that long to fix it, and it's like, well, why did they release it in that state? It should have never been released. And you look at a majority of these major game releases now that
10
come out
seconds
that
remaining.
aren't playable, and and then you've got someone like Chris who's holding the game back because there's
Match over.
things that are obviously not right with it, and he's now getting told that that's a bad thing. And I think that's people obviously they can't.
It's
There's
double
no
standards.
happy. There's no happy. Yeah, it's double standards. And
People
it's
want
as simple
the best
as
things, but they don't want to wait for them,
yeah.
and they want it now. See,
I mean,
can
as-
understand
as-
that. Also, I don't really get hyped for games unless it's a sequel. I would rather have non-on-time stuff. Exactly. That's the sentiment of a lot of the Star Citizen community. But the problem is that there are a lot of people who don't understand that, and they spread this misinformation to the outside, and people get this bad rap stuff. So, Kaj, ready up. Yeah, I think that
It's quite
yeah.
the easiest way of putting it is in 2015 there was a certain person that wound it up, and then the media started turning on it, and for a lot of community people, that was some people worried, some people just shrugged it off, some people got really angry that Star Citizen was being attacked. And that's where a lot of this doubt has now come from. I mean, there's always been people that have said that it's a scam and that will never come out. But for me, I put my money towards it because I saw the dogfight module when it first came out. I liked what I saw. It was completely different to everything else out at the time. And
We're kind of in an explosion of space sims right now.
yeah, and Star Citizen was at the forefront. Now, I mean, Chris Roberts I've never known him to release a bad game.
So I might get this for my B-Day in late May along with For Honor and or Ghost Recon. Because this game is sexy and I want to know more before I get it. Yeah, so I would recommend by that point, if they haven't released 3.0, to definitely just check in with the community and see what's going on. See how things are coming along before you buy. I think that even though we've invested all of this money and time into it, that you should definitely make sure that you're not just dragged into one camp or the other just because they say so. Like, don't listen to us, or don't take our word for granted, and don't listen to all of the Derek Smarters out there that will just say that the game sucks because it's never gonna come out. It's a scam.
I mean, the thing is for me, it's worth the risk. I mean, admittedly, I didn't put in as much money as half the people did.
Yeah,
Probably more
I
than
can say
90%.
that I
Pistons
put
in
way
like
too much
1,000
money in.
something.
Yeah, but I mean, that's your money, though, isn't it? That's your choice. That's the thing.
I'm happy to put my money into for this game.
Yeah. For me, I mean, the reason why is basically because I can't. If I could give Chris a direct loan, then I would. But this is the thing that, to me, growing up, this is what games were. They were trying to be completely different to the next person. You were trying to create your own thing, and now everything is, well, this person's doing a first-person shooter, so we're going to do a first-person shooter.
Catch. You got me.
And to me, that's I'm probably just rambling now, but this Chris's
Respawning.
I mean,
He has
a lot
good
of the
intentions.
games, yeah,
He's not.
it's good intentions, but
Sometimes it doesn't
there's
work
no
out.
guarantee that
Sometimes it doesn't work out, but he's trying to make the best game he can. And some people don't realize that they pledged for his vision of the game. they didn't pledge to make the game that they did. Your dream may coincide with his, but you're not paying to make your game. You're paying him to make a game that you pledged for. My little brother is getting a PC because he's gaming on a Dell. I'm giving him a bunch of games and he loves space games. He's like, I'm not sure that. Oh, it's a Pentium G4650. Isn't that the one that had the crazy hyper-threading and stuff?
Yes, that's the Pentium with 3.7 gigahertz, 2-core, 4-thread.
Yeah,
It's quite good. It's better than...
I think that could run it. And GTX 1050.
1050 is a little rough.
Yeah, 1050 might be.
Try to get up to like a 1050 Ti or a RX 470.
See, Abyss, you're aiming low. You should aim high.
I know, I was hip firing there.
Yeah. You're giving him your old card.
Spawning.
Yeah, so I think that on low it might be able to with some setting tweaks, but it might not be the most smooth experience, but maybe he's 10. I'm not sure that it would be the wisest investment of $60 to get this game.
You're better off spending the money on a better GPU and then you can game
Yeah.
later.
Crouching
Yeah,
doesn't
don't worry
doesn't
about
work.
the game though. You're not missing
Yeah, you're not missing
too much
it.
now.
There's not much to miss. You can always get it later. Like
And the thing is, anyway, even if you wanted a head start, there's like in the persistent universe, every single time a new patch comes out, your data gets raised. So there's nothing
there's
permanent
nothing
apart
yeah,
from
leaderboards
the
right now.
leaderboards.
Right.
Yeah.
Which who cares about leaderboards? I do too much, but
Yeah, but that's because you're on first page.
I was.
You're not on first page anymore. You're
Nah.
slipping.
I don't see.
Since
you.
this new since
don't see you on
2.6.1, I can't play Star Marine. I've been dying too much. But that said, there's a pro
Respawning.
team that I had an entire game in. Every single game was like a loss,
Against Penta,
a complete
yeah.
loss.
Penta is kind of wrecking phase right now. But so I gotta end the stream, but I think that gave you a pretty good idea of what it is, and I think that you're qualified enough to tell people what it is, so you can be an evangelist.
If not, we're around most Saturdays
Yeah.
or
you can
whatever
always type
time
in
it
your
is.
Questions into Discord and just yeah, my 1050.
I'll
is
tell you-
like
tell you
2
what,
months
look,
old. Playing games like GTA,
hold on.
Rainbow Six,
Let me just see. Is there anything that I can get rid of?
Go. This is not his space game right now, and I doubt that it will be for some time. And I don't know how long a 10-year-old can wait for a game like this, so I would advise that you just save that money. If he has another game that he wants in the meantime, then get that, but maybe not this game, because this game is not for everyone, clearly. It's a pretty niche kind of game, I find. Yeah, so
Right,
I'm gonna end this.
Sorry, mate. I've forgotten your name, but I've just made a. Oh, when it works. Right, I'm gonna make a